The opinions shared on the following podcast are the host's own. They may not reflect the position of their past, present, nor future employers. And now, please enjoy our podcast. Listener discretion is advised. You are listening to the Geeks and Gripes podcast with Dex, Rich, and Mike. And now, let's get our show started.
Hello, world. Thank you for joining us on our second episode of the Geeks and Gripes podcast. My name is Mike. I'm also we have Dex and Rich as well. Please remember to follow us on geeksandgripes.com. We have a social media presence on Facebook as the Geeks and Gripes group, in Twitter using @geeksandgripes, Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube as Geeks and Gripes. Remember, both words plural and no abbreviations. If you wish to support us, you may become our Patreon by finding us in patreon.com as Geeks and Gripes. We promise to eventually figure out how to create exclusive content for our Patreons. In this episode, we will continue our conversation about the DLC contents from our first episode. Now imagine this. Imagine Final Fantasy VII would have been made in today's standards. How much do you think an Ares Lives DLC would have generated money?
Oh, crap ton. Hell, every single disc would have been sold to you as a separate game.
They're doing that anyway.
Wait. That's what they're doing.
Well,
it's outrageous. It's insane.
Well,
like what they're doing to Final 7, it's like killing me.
Well,
like it's literally killing me.
Here's the thing. Like the remake that they're doing will be on 2 discs, 2 Blu-rays. The first part,
Wait. Only Midgar. Only Midgar is gonna be.
No.
Then you have to buy the other one.
The first part is until Aerith dies. Spoiler, by the way, if you haven't played this decades-long game. And the second one is the rest of the game.
Wait.
That's literally how I heard it was going to be.
Wait, but
Nope.
But the description only says Midgar.
Yep, it is only Midgard, and the other sections of the game are gonna be different games that you will have to purchase full price.
Really? That's not what I heard in the last...
That's what I've heard. What I heard.
I mean, the description for the game basically says Cloud, Barrett, Tifa, and Ares, help them through Midgar, blah blah blah, etc.
Yep.
Okay.
That's what I heard.
Well, let me
It's really sad and scary.
let me contact our dear gods of knowledge, Google.
Well, while you do that, when after those 4, when do you get the next character? I mean, I think everybody else is except for Sid and Kate Sith are optional, right?
Yuffie is optional. Vincent is optional. Cat Sith is optional.
Wait, what?
Really?
No.
Yeah, I think
I thought you needed to get Kate Sith.
Kate
no,
Sith
like
is part of the
he would
plot.
help you, but to get him as a character permanently, it was an optional mission, I believe.
Kate Sith was part of the plot.
Well, the person behind Kate Sith was, but I think to get him as an actual character, because you can get his ultimate weapon like really early in the game.
You cannot pass the ancient temple without Kate Sith. He is the one that sacrifices himself, or at least his first body, to get you the black materia. He is not optional.
Then who is optional? I know Yuffie and Vincent.
Yuffie and Vincent, I believe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but I don't think Sid. I think you had to get Sid and
Sid is
Red
optional.
13.
Sid is not optional.
Sid is not optional. Red 13 is not optional. Kate Sid is not optional.
So this is my concern. Red 13 isn't even mentioned in the description,
Yep.
and he was in Midgar.
The last report I read about Final 7, and it was the report that made me not want to play the game, is that it was just going to be Midgar, and it would be like a full price for the other pieces of the game. So basically, every disc is going to be a new game that you have to buy separately and buy its season pass and all of that crap.
So how is the leveling gonna work? I mean, you are supposed to be as strong as you left Midgar when you start the rest of the game. How are they gonna manage that? Like,
I don't know.
I don't know. That's I'm not looking very much forward to that. If I get the
Nope.
game, it's probably just for a bit of Tifa, and that's it.
Like it looks amazing, but
Yep.
if they end up squeezing that much out of it, it's like
They're doing it Disney, basically.
We waited for so long, and now they're gonna go pull like this. This is like I felt like again insulted, and like my whole like fanship for so many years like meant nothing to this company. I don't know.
Milking the cow. But yeah, it's I don't know. I'm pretty sure the description makes a reference that this is just gonna be Midgar. Probably exactly up until the part where you leave Midgar. I would have to bet because that was like a major turning point in the game. The game went from this linear closed world into an open world. Well, whatever open world was at the time, with this world map and whatnot.
Yep.
That's so I don't know. I have not pre-ordered the game. I have still not been motivated to pre-order the game, and hell no, I'm not gonna pay for any more expensive version of the game.
no. Like I said, I'm not going to pre-order it. I'm just gonna wait to see what happens. And I'll be completely honest. I'm a Final Fantasy fan, and I saw the remake, and it looked amazing. But at the same time, I'm like I've already played these games,
Mhm.
and like, eh.
This is kind of the same reason I still haven't gotten Link's Awakening. It's like,
See, Link's
Oh no! I draw the line there. Link's Awakening is amazing. I'm playing it right now, and it's still amazing, and I love it.
yeah, but Link's Awakening is the full game. Like
Yep.
that can be said is the main difference. Like
yeah,
Final
but
Fantasy VII is going to be remade into multiple episodes, but Link's Awakening is like, here you go, this is the game. Here you go. That it's the game. We just made it pretty.
pretty. I still can bet that I remember the whole exact game from memory, like complete eidetic memory of the whole game.
I'll take that bet. Okay, do
Like,
you still remember all the trading that you needed to do?
not if you ask me like recite it, but if you get me to play the game, I'll do the whole freaking trading like as early as possible until you get the boomerang. And I remember all 23 seashells if I get to play the game.
Okay, because yeah,
Is it just 23? I thought it was a lot more than
no,
that.
it's
23.
more than 23, I think.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it's a lot. I think it's like 90 or something.
No, it's 23. You get 10 shells for an upgrade, then you get 10 more shells for the other upgrades. 23.
No, there's four upgrades. I already have the second one. The Master Sword, you get it with like four upgrades.
Well,
I'm at the
that's
second
new
one.
because the if you include the Game Boy Color version, there were only 3 upgrades to your attack power. You got level 1 sword, level 2 sword, and if you did the attack dungeon, those were the only upgrades. So if
I
there's
played the
more,
original. I didn't play the Game Boy
yeah,
Color
the
one.
original was just L1, L2. That's it.
So the second upgrade gives you the
So-
thing that alerts you when you are near a seashell.
So you were almost correct. In the original Link's Awakening, there were 26 shells.
26.
The update increased this to up to 50 shells.
I don't remember
So
getting
now,
26.
so they
then.
doubled the amount of shells now.
I don't remember getting 26
Oh, wow.
then, so I always got to 23 and thought that was it.
Well, that's crazy. Always thought there were a lot more shells, but there's been too many Zeldas. But yeah, I thought it was a lot more than 26.
See, you guys remember all that? Like, you want to know the one thing I remember about the game? That I was literally stuck in one puzzle for like a month. It's because I lost the little like the instruction book, so I didn't know which enemy was the Pole's voice.
Oh, I had that
Oh.
problem, man. I was stuck 4 months in that stupid dungeon.
Yeah, and where it says, oh, you have to kill them in this order. I'm like, okay,
Yep.
cool. What the hell's a Pole's voice?
The little,
I guessed it because I knew what the Stalfos
No.
was, so I guessed what was the Pole's voice.
I never guessed.
Same here.
I just happened to one day by random chance killed them in the right order and wait, what? It was in an order? Oh. And again, thank you for reminding me of a bunny. On top of that, a dismembered head of a bunny.
Yep.
No, I just love the fact that it's called the Pulse Voice from the original game, because in Japan the Famicom system had a microphone in the second controller, and if you like made a noise in it, it would actually kill all the Pulse Voice.
Oh wow, really? I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. Basically, that's why in the book, in the original Zelda, it said that the Pulse Voice were heard by sound, and everybody thought, "Oh, I play the flute, and it'll hurt them." A lot of people died thinking that, and then it came to be that it's like, "Oh no!" In Japan, the Super Famicom's second controller, instead of a start and select button, it has a microphone, and you would literally have to pick it up and scream into it, and it would kill all the Pulse Voice.
That's awesome.
Yeah, still like Poe's voice, bunny head. Yeah, no association there. Thank you, translators for making my game at least 6 months, extending my gameplay for by about 6 months.
Hey, if it was today's standards, they would have charged you $80 for extending your game for 6 months. Okay.
Yep.
That's true.
So thank you, bad translations. All your base are belong to us. Thank you.
All your
Yeah,
base are
all your base are belong to us. but yeah, like I don't know. I'm so apprehensive of video game companies nowadays, but at the same time, I like certain video games that turned out to be good games without the backing of a major studio. Like, I don't know if you've ever played Stardew Valley.
My kids watch a lot. My kid used to watch a lot of videos of that game.
Yeah, it's basically Harvest Moon in pixels, but with adult themes in there, sprinkled in there too. But all the time wasting of the original Harvest Moon, and it was developed by like a 3-person studio or something, and it just turned out to be an amazing game.
And I don't know if you guys played Subnautica, but it was a really good game.
I've seen it, I've heard of it, but I've never played it.
It was so good, and it started so simple, as like this like survival game underwater, and then it kept on growing, and they kept on adding like new like sections and new biomes, and it's just like a massive, very beautiful game. And if you purchase like the alpha pre-game, you got access to all of it, and it's a small company as well.
I don't know, but I'm gonna go old school here. One of my favorite games is ActRaiser.
Oh, holy hell! You really went old school there, bro.
I will always find myself reverting to play that game, reverting back to playing that game. That game's awesome.
It's like saying, "Hey guys, remember Master Blaster?"
Oh wait! There is a remake in Switch.
Like, I know.
There's a couple of remakes for this game, but yeah, I played the original.
No, let's get Mike to get some PTSD here. Remember the adventures of Lolo?
Lolo, and I rarely speak backwards.
I was playing it the other day. It's actually pretty fun.
It is, but yeah, I don't know, man. It's controllers cease to exist sometimes with that game.
Yeah.
I mean, the problem with me with Lolo is that some of the puzzles in Lolo really weren't puzzles. They required you to do a certain amount of moves within a certain amount of time, or you would get murdered. And so that takes the puzzle away from it. It's like, can you grab this completely square controller that's already injuring your arm in the future that will give you permanent carpal tunnel syndrome, and can you make that stupid square button react to you fast enough so that little green roly-poly thingy would not hit you? Or,
well, look at it this way. Maybe the writer that created the Saw movies did it with Lolo in mind.
So Lolo was
It's like,
actually,
hey, let's play a game where if you lose the game, you die.
I mean, Lolo was created by HAL Laboratories, and they are actually the ones that created Kirby and Smash. Just FYI.
Okay.
So
There you go.
Technically, Lolo was Kirby before Kirby.
Yep, it's a precursor to Kirby. You can see the resemblance.
But still,
You know,
Lolo.
just to date myself a bit here as well. Like I remember this game back in the NES days, Three Kingdoms based game, RPG. My cartridge lost its battery, like the saving battery.
Oh!
So I couldn't save, and I
God.
really loved that game. So I remember like there was this one time I thought I could just finish it. Like I was a kid, like I said I'm gonna finish this game in one sitting. It was an RPG, so I wasn't expecting it to be like 40 hours. So I started playing nonstop from like breakfast until my mom forced me to like turn it off so I would have like dinner. I had been playing for like 6 hours, and I lost everything. And I was like, yeah, I'm never playing this again.
That's painful.
It sounds like unresolved childhood issues. You can probably resolve them now.
Yeah.
I had the same problem with Dragon Warrior, so.
Oh, Dragon Warrior. It's like, oh, I am going to go south, and I'm dead because of an emerald dragon.
Just
I'm
don't
gonna
cross
go
a
north.
bridge.
Oh, a slime.
Don't cross a bridge.
Yeah, basically, it's don't cross the bridge or you die.
This is the game that actually invented the phrase don't cross bridges.
I never finished Final Fantasy 3 because there was like a random chance of encountering a golden dragon in the final dungeon, and there's no save points in the final dungeon. So I was like 3 or 4 hours in, and the gold dragon one shot me, and I said like, "Yep, I'm never finishing this again. I'm not turning it up on again, and it's over forever."
So you should play Dragon Quest 2. Dragon Quest 2, when you're getting close to the end, and this happens actually throughout the entire game, but when you start to get to the final area, all the monsters have instant death moves. All of them. Random encounters, all of them that you can.
But can you save? Like the problem with Final Fantasy 3 is that there were no save points in the whole dungeon, and in the final level you had a random chance to encounter a one-shotter dragon. It was the most annoying thing ever.
Wait, Final Fantasy 3 or Final Fantasy 6?
No, 3. 6 is the best game I've ever played.
Okay,
Final
cool.
Fantasy 3, like the 3.
The actual 3. Okay.
Yeah.
But you played what, like the DS 3D version of it, was it?
Yes, I played that one too.
Yeah.
And I died in the Final Fantasy.
Yeah, the Final Fantasy 3. A whole game with a bad guy, and then all of a sudden the real bad guy was Cloud.
What
Darkness.
a twist!
No storyline at all. It's same thing. This happens a lot in Final Fantasy. Pre Kefka, somewhat pre Kefka and post Kefka. It's like, yeah, that dude that you've been chasing all this time. Yeah, it's not the real bad dude. I am.
Yeah, like Golbus back in Final Fantasy 4 or 2 for the US players. It's like, oh yeah, this guy that we're sure he's evil. He's your brother and he's not evil.
He's your brother. Oh my god, no. Yep.
And that's when you go like, Raw?
Yeah. So
Also, Final Fantasy 4, the only game where to wake up a sleeping ninja, samurai, monk, warrior guy, you have to go to his home, and instead of his wife coming with you to wake him up tenderly, she gives you a frying pan and says, just hit him. And it works.
Of course it works.
Did anybody ever try to throw that frying pan? Like with the skill throw?
No.
It did 99999.
And you could never wake up Yang then?
No, like after, because you get it.
Oh, okay,
like,
got it.
Like you keep it, and it's one of the items you can throw. So one day, in the final boss, I was literally out of like everything. I'm like, the frying pan, sure, why not? 99999. What? No wonder it woke him up.
That reminds me of Dragon Quest XI's naughty stick.
The naughty stick.
It never hits, but when it does, it's a guaranteed critical. If you're not a Dragon Quest fan, yeah, especially you listener, if you're not a Dragon Quest fan, please at least play 5, 8, and 11. They're really good games and they're standalones in a way. Please. You don't need to play the others.
Puff puff.
Speaking of Puff Puff, in Dragon Quest IV, there is a scene where you have to some dude is insomniac, or sorry, not insomniac, the other thing where you forget everything. What's the word for it? Amnesia.
Yeah, so he has amnesia.
He has amnesia, and the only way you can recover it's like his wife has to go give him puff puff. Then he remembers who he is.
Wow.
Yeah, Dragon Quest is a very special. Like after Dragon Quest 3, it's just became like very, very good games. 5, my opinion, 5 is the best story wise Dragon Quest. The only thing really horrible with Dragon Quest 5 is the fact that it's kind of short compared to the others. But its storyline, the best. I think it's one of those games that could rival in a way Final 6. Not beat it, but has that same quality of storytelling.
Final 6 is one of my favorite games of all time. It's one of the games that I finished in every possible way you could. I did everything you could do and more. It's like
I just remember it because it was literally the first game I ever played that actually had consequences. It's like, will you wait for Shadow? No.
Wait for
you
Shadow.
Lost him.
Wait for Shadow.
Forever.
It's like, he's gone. You're done, okay? You don't get him anymore. Oh. Great. Let me restart this game again.
Yeah. Same thing happens with, at least you can save in this with Fire Emblem. Oh, he died. I'm going to play him in the next board. No, he's dead.
Yeah, he's dead, Jim.
He died. Yeah. You cannot bring your character to the next map. The character's dead. Wait, what? Yeah, your character died. Do you know what the definition of dead is, right? But there's no. This your character's dead. There's no Phoenix Downs here. Your character's dead.
Yep.
What I'm gonna do? Well, there's like starts. If you saved afterwards, then you're gonna have to start the game over.
Exactly. It's like, what am I gonna do? Did you save before? No. Then you're screwed.
Did you save after? Yep. Oh.
You're really. screwed.
Now you're really screwed.
So my characters don't come back? No, they don't. They only if your protagonist die usually, then it's a game over. But if your non-protagonists die, they're not coming back. So I don't know. It's kind of, I think it's a fun concept. It still goes back to that old school, no compassion in games type of games.
See, I like the whole concept of rogue-like games now. They're like, oh my god, this game is so difficult. It's a rogue-like. And then when you play, it's like, oh, yeah, this reminds me of Ninja Gaiden back in the day.
Oh, Ninja Gaiden.
Hard as hell, and you die constantly. Oh, wait. This game, the more you die, the easier it gets because you power up. What kind of bullshit is this? No. This is better than Ninja Gaiden. Back at Ninja Gaiden, it's like, oh, you died? Do you have continues? No. You then.
Yeah.
Go back to the start.
Yeah, it's like Double Dragon. If you got killed by the final boss, well, go back to the start.
Congratulations, you get to play the game again.
Like the whole levels? Yes, the whole levels, like everything.
Or the king of these games, Super Ghouls and Ghosts.
Oh, I hate that game. So many random nightmares.
I haven't played it too much.
Sorry,
I didn't play that game too much, but I know about it. It's like, 2 hits and you're game over.
Yep, it's like first hit you're in your underwear, second hit you're dead.
Yep.
It's okay, but how difficult could it be? There's literally enemies coming out of the ground everywhere around you, and there's projectiles everywhere. Good luck.
Practically every pixel could kill you in that game.
Pretty much.
But I still like I still like that Nintendo likes to sneak a level like that in all their games. They always have this one level. Unfortunately, it's just one, but they always have this one level where they like to go back to that old school, go die in a fire. Yeah, there is actually a game level in one of I think the Super Mario Galaxy ones the game with 6 hit points was the level with 6 hit points was insanely hard. Then they ask you to do it with just a single hit point.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's the thing. Like, you say that Nintendo does that now, but every so often, some deranged psycho in Nintendo manages to sneak through their carefully constructed review system, and you get Yoshi's Island.
Ah, crap. I hate that game. Don't if you have any sort of mental illness, please don't play that game. It's gonna make it worse.
It's like, hey, here's Yoshi's Island. If the baby gets off your back, you have 10 seconds of it screaming incessantly until you pick it back up.
Yeah.
That game is doable if you just want to pass the game. If you want to get it perfect and get it perfect on every special stage, you cannot get touched because you get bonus stars, and the bonus stars basically adds a +1 to your counter. But you have to end with the max of 30 seconds, the 5 stupid flowers, and the 20 stupid red coins.
Yep.
So you can't get hit. And if you get hit, you have to make sure that you get hit before you can reset that counter back to 30. And if you get hit after the last possible place where you can reset that counter, you have to start the whole thing again because you're not going to get it perfect.
So basically, that's what we used to call that's bull.
Meanwhile, you're balancing on a rock and rolling that rock with your feet on top of spikes while you have 50 piranha plants throwing fire at you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Still, there's nothing like Celeste. That game is a masterpiece, and it's the hardest thing I've ever played. and I had already like 400 deaths like by like 3/4 of the game, and it was still like amazing to go through. It was like a beautiful game to play. The music was amazing. The story was great, but it was actually insanely hard. Like you just died. 10 seconds dead, 2 seconds dead.
That sounds like the Battletoads water ski parts on the.
Oh yeah,
Battletoads.
That noise.
Yeah, honestly, if I played Battletoads, it was only for the pause screen. Does anybody remember that? Yeah.
Like it had a good beat.
Yep. That was the only good thing about Battletoads. I saw somebody finishing it, and I'm like, you're crazy.
Well, like, there's 2 ways to finish it. You can either speed run it and get every single warp, which, like, the warp that's in the speeder level is, oh, you blinked for a microsecond, you lost the warp. So you're done. Your speed run is done right there. And then there's the people there's the people who hate themselves. They hate their lives, they hate who they are as a person, and they decide to just play the whole game without a warp.
I wanted to say no offense to those persons, but no, yes, all offense.
Yeah, no, it's legit. It's, they hate themselves, and we accept that they hate themselves, and thankfully they find an outlet that still gives them enough pain, but at the same time doesn't hurt anybody.
Yeah, for anyone listening to us that's 20, 25 or younger or something like that, you really want to play hard video games, play the old school ones, and don't play the ones that Nintendo are offering you with all the little cheat stuff already done for you. No, just play the way like it's meant to play. Like, go play the Zelda game with the second quest, and go hit a blue bubble or a red bubble and lose your sword forever until you hit a blue bubble. See how that feels.
Or play Bubble Bubble.
I know somebody that beat that game.
Yeah, no, it's beatable, but I'm not saying that you'll have your sanity afterwards.
It's like play River City Ransom without the upgrades.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like Bubble Bubble, the only game where getting a speed power up will actually kill you. It's like, oh, you got the shoe. Great, you can't bounce on bubbles anymore. What? But I have to bounce on bubbles. Not anymore. You're gonna die. You're just gonna die.
I'll recommend this starter pack. Just play, if you have not played the Super Mario Brothers 2, the original one. Play at least one of the Adventures of Lolo. Maybe throw in a Battletoads and I'm gonna go soft, maybe Adventure Island. And
Yeah, that's the Weenie Hut General pack.
yeah, so it's like start with that and see what we have to live through.
And then if you really, really, really want to experience it, get yourself Fester's Quest.
Oh God.
And then just try to get to the first boss of Fester's Quest. And
I can bet money that nobody, like none of the new generation, could get anywhere on the original Ninja Turtles.
screw that
I was
noise.
thinking about that game. I love that game. As a kid, I was actually like impressed with myself. As a kid, I actually got inside the Technodrome.
Well,
Good for you.
I
That's when I
got to the Technodrome, but then all the electricity, all the small pixels that could kill you all over the place. Yeah, I died. I never got inside.
I did get inside, but that I basically got destroyed inside the Technodrome.
Yeah, sounds about right.
So
All in all, it's like a very frustrating game from beginning to end. Like it's a pixel by pixel. You have to play everything kind of perfect game.
I mean,
No. Like, have you ever seen the Angry Video Game Nerd?
yes,
Okay, so he's like his theme song and his episode of Ninja Turtles perfectly encapsulates it. A turtle will die if it falls in the water.
yes.
A turtle cannot swim except in the one level where you have to swim through electrified seaweed.
Not just seaweed that's electrified, by the way.
Exactly. It's electrified seaweed, electrified fields to disarm bombs.
I think I had to go through therapy to forget about that level.
Exactly.
You brought back so many memories about swimming in that thing. Oh God.
Again, I would pay. I don't want to bet too much money because then I would get choked up. But I would pay at least 5 cents for any of the younger generations to get through the part where the full entire screen is one of those the entire like electric weed stuff, and and your head and your toe is already touching the pixels of the weed. It's like get through that without having a single pixel of damage, and then I'll say you're good.
It's a pixels game. That was insane.
I mean, there was like this even before like the dam itself at the very end. If you mistime that last jump, you have to do the whole floor again, and the monsters all respawned.
Oh yeah, it's the fabled jump that for some reason the level design, the only way you can jump it is if you manage to do the somersault jump, but not the full somersault jump, because if you do the full somersault jump, you're not going to make it, you're going to bump into the ceiling.
Yeah.
You have to do the half somersault jump, which in and of itself is near impossible, and that's the only way you can get past that one point. And if you fall in the water, again, a turtle falls in the water and gets dragged outside, and you have to go through that shit again.
Yep. And on top of that, it's like you think to yourself, oh, this is not going to happen again. Oh, yes, it will. There's a sewer level with a very similar jump, and again, you do it wrong, you will fall in the water and somehow drown.
Yep.
Somehow you a turtle will drown. But even when you drown, somehow you can actually rescue yourself back as a tide, but you don't get that many chances. For those who do play Ninja Turtles, right before the boss battle in World 3, you can go back to the previous sewer and get a full pizza on everybody. So technically you can start fresh if you get to that point, if you get to that point. But yeah, I feel proud. As a kid, I managed to get inside a Technodrome, and that was like my big, big life achievement, and it was to the point where I actually destroyed the entire things in the Technodrome. I destroyed the front thingy, the two shooters, and the eye thingy. I felt proud. It's like revenge. And then
My childhood achievement was finishing Final Fantasy VI with just 3 characters. The necessary 3.
Damn.
It was,
Locke, Cecile was their name?
Edgar,
Yeah.
Celes,
Celes,
and Setzer.
Yeah, you still needed to fly, so.
Yep.
I'll be completely honest. One of the best things that ever came out of that game was Ultros, the octopus. I love him. He is so annoying, but I love him.
I could technically say same thing about Kefka. Kefka is like the embodiment of how a villain should behave.
Yeah, but
one of the best designed villains ever.
Yeah, Kefka is like, I'm gonna take over the world. I took over the world. I got bored because I took over the world, so I'm just gonna torment people randomly until somebody comes in to challenge me.
He was actually like one of the most evil, like just maniacs in any game ever. Like the whole poisoning of like whole castles full of people.
Yeah, like he killed women and children.
It was insane.
And enjoyed their last gasps.
Like, I was.
It's like people are in love with Sephiroth, but to me, Sephiroth was more of a classic person that went crazy. Kefka was just genuinely evil.
Yep. He by design, he must have been the most evil by definition character that I've ever seen on a game.
Because technically, if Sephiroth would have been born and not have those experiments done on him, he would have not gone rogue.
Sephiroth was just like kind of dead inside. Like he was just this emo kid. Like Kefka was just insanely evil.
Yeah.
Like he would like kill like children and just laugh out of it. Like
Kefka,
and ask
Kefka
people to
is,
like wipe sand from his boots.
Kefka is the exact representation of evil. Period. I don't even want to say person. Kefka is evil.
He killed his boss and the emperor. He would just shoot beams of like magical power to destroy more parts of the world just because he.
Not only did he kill his boss, he literally followed his instructions, played him along until the exact right moment, and then stabby stab. I'm taking over.
He played with him when he was killing him too. Like
exactly.
Yeah, I'm shooting here. Nope. Run that way. I'm shooting there. Yep. You're dead.
Exactly. It's like, haha, suck on that.
If you have not played the Final Fantasy VI, aka in the United States, Final Fantasy III, that game is the closest thing to a perfect game possible. I don't want to call it a perfect game because I really don't want to offend the Final Fantasy VII nutsos out there. Yeah, but if that fan base would not exist, I would say Final Fantasy VI is the perfect game. It has the perfect villain. I'm sorry, Sephiroth is not the perfect villain. You might argue that he was the most powerful villain, which I still can technically counter argue that.
Even Kefka got to godhood. Like,
right.
He was a god when you faced him. So.
Yeah. So,
okay, like even if there's like people who love Final Fantasy VI, even if there's people who love Final Fantasy VII, I think we can all come together in our complete collective agreement that Final Fantasy VIII was a clusterfuck of a story.
Yep. Definitely.
I don't want to say
I have friends that love and swear that Final 8 is like their best Final Fantasy, but it was the first RPG they ever played. So I think the first game the first game of a genre that you like, that you play, has a special place in your heart. Like my first RPG was a Lunar in Sega CD.
Okay.
And that was a beautiful game. Like I can still remember the songs, and it had a special meaning for me.
Mine was Dragon Warrior.
But I still think Final 6 was better.
Yours was Dragon Warrior, Mike?
Dragon Warrior at 5, and I actually got far for a 5-year-old.
Nice. My first RPG was Final Fantasy 2. That was my first one.
But yeah, it's I don't know. It's play Final Six. Find a way to play Final Six at least once. It's a great game. I also insist play Dragon Quest Five. If you like Final Fantasy VI, you will most likely like 5. And it's not that they're similar at all. They're not. They just have that high quality storytelling. In my opinion, it's like people that probably played Dragon Quest for the first time. They played the 8th game. I like the 8th game. It's pretty good. It's just not Dragon Quest 5. And let me put it this way. I want to bring also up Dragon Quest, the latest one. It said 11. I forgot the number. I had really my bar was really low for that game. Like I expected like this cliche run of the mill Dragon Quest game. I had my expectations set low, and that game turned out pretty good. It was a pretty good game. It also has this Final Fantasy VI-esque storytelling. I don't think it's as good at quality as 6, 7, and Dragon Quest 5, but it's not a bad game either. It's like, don't be fooled by the shout-like graphics. The game has a lot of adult themes. Please don't let children play it.
It's like, oh, look at this pretty graphics and pretty game. Let's just let our kids play it. Insert random jiggly breast and random psychotic killer here. Oh no, what happened?
Yeah, and one of the Dragon Quest games, I cannot remember, it was 5. Again, silly graphics, whatnot, and then you have a scene where this dude is under a guillotine. And they drop the guillotine. Thankfully, the screen goes all black, but it was a very graphic representation of a person being completely severed for a quote-unquote children-like looking games. Like, no, don't really let children play Dragon Quest. The graphics are misleading, like extremely misleading.
Oh, on the topic of jiggly breast, it's a perfect segue. So Terry Bogart's gonna be in Smash Brothers, but Mai is too sexy for Smash Brothers.
If there weren't any copyright reasons, I would put a particular song here, but I cannot. But I would replace, like for my shirt, for example, with for Nintendo.
But yeah, like Bayonetta is fine, but Mai is just too sexy.
I think it's more. I mean, I haven't played too much Bayonetta. I've seen her character, and I think there's still slightly difference. I mean,
oh no, it's the outfit, dude. Like it's the outfit. Bayonetta, while it's a skin-tight suit,
yes,
that doesn't leave much to the imagination, still covers up quite a lot and holds everything in place.
Yes.
Mai has a semi-open kimono.
I think semi is an understatement, but yes.
Exactly. I'm being generous. That literally shows every single jiggle.
Yeah, I mean, I think Nintendo has gotten a bit more adult themed. Again, I have heard of the lesbian games, but the problem is that fine, you're allowing M games on your system, but Smash was not really designed to be taken in that regard and manner. So I get it. I mean, maybe I don't know. I think you could have gotten away with changing her outfit if you really wanted the character there. But
yeah, just put her in a different outfit. Put her in like a. I don't know.
I'm sorry, but the outrage of like changing Mai Shiranui's outfit would have been like real.
True.
People would have been like screaming on the streets if you.
True.
They still scream on the street for Waluigi, and Nintendo still doesn't care.
Exactly. Poor Waluigi doesn't get any respect.
He's an assist trophy.
Yep, that's all he is.
To all those watching or listening, this podcast, if you hear my laptop fan, I apologize. But my laptop's pretty old and it likes to turn its fan on too often.
Hey, it's better than my desktop where the fan literally sounds like an airplane taking off.
Bet you can scare people with it though.
I just need to upgrade it eventually.
I say same thing. One of these days. It's like when you start a family, money doesn't really stretch very much.
Oh no, yeah, you have a perfect reason, bro. Like, you have a family. That's the decision you have to take.
Yep. But I mean, in my opinion, developers should work on the worst laptop possible. In my opinion.
Well, that's how you know you're getting good, because if the program survives and doesn't blow up your laptop, you're like, okay, yeah, we can throw it out there.
If your crappy software runs on a crappy laptop normal speed, just think how it would run with the actual hardware to run good stuff.
Exactly.
I think software has had that problem. We flew to the damn moon in, I think it was less than a meg of RAM.
Basically, wasn't it like a TI-83 calculator level processor?
Something like that. So it's like, we flew to the damn moon with just that amount of RAM. Why do I need 5 gigs to open a freaking website?
Because Google Chrome.
It's not just Chrome, man. It's like,
I know.
people have gone too overboard with a lot of this crappy. And I apologize if I'm offending somebody, but I'm not a fan of JavaScript frameworks. They bloat the freaking browser full of event listeners. You will end up with 50,000 event listeners that if you breathe on the laptop, you just triggered 500 of them.
Pretty much.
I dare everyone that is a developer to switch back to raw JavaScript.
See, that's the thing.
That's how I used to code.
That's the thing. Like, I code pretty much just raw JavaScript, and then they're like, "No, you have to use this. You have to use that." It's like, okay, cool.
And
I still remember like your mlib, you would keep all like your code in your own like library.
yeah, I keep talking to people. I see a lot of people saying, "Oh, I was writing a library app, but jQuery existed, so I actually started mine before jQuery existed." It never released because, in my opinion, it was still a crappy library. It had too much of a memory footprint, but it freaking worked.
I'll be honest. Like they've improved jQuery. I prefer using jQuery, but I don't know. Like, again, like I built a for a project. Like, React wasn't working, so I'm like, screw it. If I can make it work with jQuery, I will. And it worked with jQuery, and they were like, "Oh, you shouldn't have used jQuery. Why? It works. If it wasn't working with one thing and it works with this, and it's not literally bogging down the website, it works."
Yeah, so it's like you can I admit it. Anything that I make will probably look butt ugly, but it works. And I've seen that already. I have helped build certain tools that are butt ugly, but they work. And the people that use them are like, "This is awesome." It's like, I know, because my intention was to write something that works.
Exactly. It works.
And it works without me having to write 500,000 pages of instructions on how to make it work.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Honestly, try raw JavaScript. Unless you're a software developer for a giant company or a company that has implemented Agile in any sort of way, you're screwed. By the way, if you're under that methodology. But if you got the freedom, man, just try to write as much of the code as you can, because it's not that I'm against libraries, but the more control you have over what things get done, the easier it is to get fixed if something actually goes wrong. Mm-hmm. But Agile, whomever thought about that idea, go die in a fire.
I think it's been misrepresented. Like, the idea was to make everything like more streamlined, but companies just think that by naming stuff ceremonies and using like Jiras and stuff like that's gonna make the world go like round better, and that's not the thing. The idea behind Agile was lost in like the translation.
Everybody has gotten stuck to this point where you have to have a deliverable by 2 weeks or less.
Yep, that's crazy.
It's like, dude, do you know if I actually give you a deliverable in 2 weeks, it'll probably be full of bugs?
Yeah, they don't care. They just want it delivered.
Yeah.
Not that it's full of bugs. It's like sometimes like the deliverable won't do much. Like
Yeah.
you need more components. Like yeah, sure, I have one of like the 7 components I need to make this like work. So what if I can deliver one component if you can't really test it? So it kind of front loads into creating something that could test each of the components separately, and I don't know. It creates a lot of overhead when it's implemented that way. But I think that the principle is good. It's just like the way people think that they have to do things kind of screws things up and makes life for developers and testers and everybody else a little bit harder.
And FYI, if you're a program manager and you're listening to this podcast, don't say yes to everything, please. Do not say yes to everything.
Well,
don't be that program manager that thinks that 9 women can give birth in 1 month.
Yeah. Well, with that, I think we'll cut the podcast for today.
Yep.
Because legit, that's the one problem of being an adult geek. You never have enough time for anything, especially sleep.
Sleep?
Well, yeah, exactly. What's that?
The range of topics were all over the place, so I think it was pretty fun.
Oh hell yeah!
Today.
That's to anybody listening. That's expect that. Expect the many train derailments. Just like the mind of a geek is chaotic. That's how we do it.
And for those people who will get this message, be thankful that we did not involve Agent Orange. So yeah, I think it's a good idea to cut this episode. Hopefully it turns out well. The other thing is you can try and follow us on Twitter using